He's not even entitled to a jury because it's communism, and certainly not because his gamer lawyer fucking forgore. Doesn't this speech violate his gag order? I don't fully understand what the limitations are on the gag order, but they are not enforcing it hard enough. Let me tell you something. I don't care about this. All right. Trump says a lot of people want him to be House Speaker.
The former president in the hallway.
Myself included. He's heard my takes.
This witch hunt that's going on using statute
that someone in here came,
12, which is a consumer fraud statute, which may be unconstitutional, doesn't allow me a jury, doesn't allow me anything. We have a prosecutor, Letitia James, who's incompetent, and what she's doing to our state, forcing companies out by the thousands, forcing people out, but forcing companies out by the thousands, while crime and violent crime in particular runs rampant. So this witch hunt does not allow me a jury. A lot of people saying, oh, that can't be possible, somebody didn't check a box. Has nothing to do with it. Under 6312, you are not entitled to a jury. It's the first time it's ever been.
I think Trump being speaker would be fucking hilarious because while he would have like more power, I guess, it is the absolute worst position for someone of his qualities. He absolutely despises doing any work whatsoever. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny to consider him in that position where like you can't get away with not doing any fucking work. It's the one position where you actually literally have to constantly curry favor, be like the worst kind of conniving politician. You can't steamroll your way through it. I know that there is also a rule that says if you're like a felon, yeah, or like I think under investigation for a felony, you can't actually become Speaker of the House. Like it's like one of the very few rules out there. Okay, but even then, it's wonderful. I hope that they abolish that rule. I hope that they abolish that rule and allow Trump to be speaker because it would also ruin his chances of becoming president. Oh, it's under indictment. Yeah. Your mic's kind of fucked up. Wait, I didn't change anything on my mic settings. Why is it fucked up? I don't understand.
Used for a purpose like this. Never been used. They used it on me. The former president, the leading candidate, I'm leading Joe Biden by a lot, which is probably why this is all happening. Not probably, why it's definitely. They're coordinating with Washington, 100%. But without that, none of these cases would be going on. They've weaponized justice in our country. This trial is a disgrace. Never happened. A thing like this has never happened before. And just simply...
It's not wrong. It has never happened. It is a disgrace.
In other words, don't even bother reading them to the banks. I borrowed money on, very under leverage, borrowed money on a building or something, maybe a different thing. I borrowed the money, I paid back the money in full, 100%. There were no defaults, there were no letters of reprimand, the banks were extremely happy, and in many cases I paid the money back early. And then I got sued years later by this horrible attorney general, this woman that ran for governor and failed. You know, she did this because she was running for governor. And then she ran and she failed. She had no polls and they forced her out. And she came back and she became attorney general again. And we got stuck with her. So she brought the case under the statute that had never been used for a thing like this before, ever. Where I'm not entitled to a jury. Because if I had a jury, even though it's in New York, and I think I'd be fine with New York, but if I had a jury, we'd win this case very easily. But I don't have a jury. And you see what's happening. This is a railroading. And it's the beginning of communism in our country. This is the beginning of communism. So we're going back in.
Yeah, he's right. This is communism. This is how it works. He's not even entitled to a jury because it's communism. And certainly not because his gamer lawyer fucking forgore. Doesn't this speech violate his gag order? I don't fully understand what the limitations are on the gag order, but they are not enforcing it hard enough. Let me tell you something.
Were offensive, they were baseless, they were void of any facts and or any evidence. What they were comments that unfortunately fomented violence, and comments that I would describe as race baiting, and comments unfortunately that appeals to the bottom of our humanity. This case was brought simply because it was a case where individuals have engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And I will not sit idly by and allow anyone to subvert the law. And lastly, I will not be bullied. And so Mr. Trump is no longer here. The Donald Trump show is over. This was nothing more than a political stunt.
Trump show's never over, okay? Let's be fucking real. Trump, so they put it down at 18 million, and they said I overvalued it because we had valued it a much lower number than it's worth. And by the way, my financial documents are much less than my actual value, which nobody even knows.
To value Mar-a-Lago for $18 million. When the smallest house in Palm Beach is probably worth $50 million.
Yeah, he's doing the fucking residential. Well, one, yeah, he is admitting to tax fraud. Two, he's also lying about like land deed restrictions, which is how he was able to even devalue his properties to begin with. The only thing he hasn't said is the Saudis would buy it for any price. Like that's, I'm expecting him to fucking say that too, to just like to hit the full Monty.
And this is the biggest, the best anywhere in the country. There's nothing like it. So they put it down at 18 million, and they said I overvalued it because we had it valued at a much lower number than it's worth. And by the way, my financial documents are valued much less than my actual value, which nobody even knows. But the financial documents.
Yeah. What are the other assets that he has that were not addressed in the court proceeding? He's like, there are so many other assets that you don't even know about, like my beautiful heart and my soul. Many of you don't even know about those assets. Nobody knows. You can't put a price on that. You can't do it.
Documents that I gave to the bank are much less than my actual net worth. So therefore, I gave them to the bank. They can't be a fraud because I gave them lower numbers. I'm probably one of the only people ever to.
Dude, he gave the bank lower valuations than what they're actually worth is his new counter. That's sick. Lower valuations. I know the court says that I actually increased the value by 2,300%. But actually, in my heart, I undervalued it. That's sick.
See, the loan, I didn't even need the loan because you see the kind of cash I have. I didn't even need loans. Maybe you don't do a deal or two.
Yeah, and then he's saying he didn't even need a loan because he's flush. What are you saying, man? I don't even know if people can like follow what he is actually putting out there. You know what I mean? Like, can you even follow what the fuck is it? My dad can? No, your dad doesn't follow the logical trajectory of his statements. Your dad is just responding to stimuli, okay? I'm sorry. If your dad is still a massive Trump supporter at this point, like, he's got lizard brain, okay? He's not listening to anything. He's just going, He's right, actually.
But I have a lot of cash, a lot of everything. You know, a lot of people are very surprised at how successful this is. You saw it today with the kind of cash I have and the kind of success we've had. But I'm a private company. I was never going to reveal this kind of stuff, but now it comes out. It comes out because a corrupt attorney general sued me for fraud.
He said the corrupt attorney general is suing me for fraud when I should be suing for fraud. They should be defending him because he was defrauded. Oh, here is the Jordan Peterson clip that you guys want me to look at. He's not just doing it for money. He's doing it for a shitload of money. Turns out Jordan Peterson apparently makes fucking an insane, unimaginable amount of money.